Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. We are sadly at the end of our Nichijou series by Keiichi Araue with volume 10. So this is the last volume in this series, and I am actually kind of sad to be reviewing this because I have enjoyed this series so much. I started reading this series when I was I was in lockdown, but so was everything else. So the library had closed again, so I could only like place holds, and then I could go and they would like hand me all the holds I had placed, which is not my normal library routine. I like to go into the library with very few expectations. Maybe I'll be looking for a book or two that someone recommended for me, but mostly I just go in and walk around and pull off whatever strikes my fancy, and I read like that. I have a loose list of things I would like to read, but I'm not really looking for anything. So it's very hard for me to have to like preemptively think of what I want to read and then place a hold on it and then pick it up. So I just typed in manga, and I believe it was like a librarian had put together a list of their favorites or just things that fell into that category, and this came up, so I decided to place a hold. My library only had volumes 1 and 2, so I've been placing holds from other libraries to get the rest of this, and I have loved this series. And I knew it was funny, but I don't think I realized how much I really liked this series until I placed my final holds on 9 and 10 a couple weeks ago. I realized I just said liked like I'm in, 6th grade. But I really enjoy this series and I'm really liking it, and it's probably the best manga series. Well, okay, yeah, it's probably one of the best manga series that I have read this year. I believe I actually started last year, but I've been reading it this year, so I'm counting it this year too. I'll say one of the best because My Love Mix-Up is also pretty good. I've really been enjoying that one. So Nichijou is one of the best. It has had me rolling on the floor, laughing super hard. I think the art cover is amazing. So this art on the cover, super wonderful. I love it. I like the aesthetic of the whole thing, and I just really have been enjoying it. And I'm not the kind of person, okay, I like to own books, clearly, but I realized I hate moving with books because putting them in a box is really heavy and moving them. So I told myself no more books until I purchase my own home, and then my books can live in my library and not be moved for 40 years. But I think I might make an exception to my rule and purchase Nichijou because I love this series so much, and I love the covers, and I want to just show them off to everybody and put them on a shelf. So that's kind of the first thing I'm going to start with my review of volume 10, which is the cover. It's super pretty. There's like a library barcode, which is really distracting up here. And it's also a throwback to volume 1, but in volume 1 there was a deer on one of the desks. So in this volume there's no deer, and it's just a throwback, and it's kind of a nice bookend to the whole series. This entry in the series is kind of like a wrap-up of everybody. We get to see a lot of little snippets of what potentially their future is. We have a lot of stories that are kind of giving hints at how things might unfold in the future. The characters decide they want to make a memory box or a time capsule, and they're going to write letters to themselves and put them in there, and I thought that was really sweet and heartwarming. But there's also some funny moments. There's a lot of like literally one page scene or one panel scenes, like a scene will be 1 or 2 panels, quite literally. Like here's an example of like that's the whole scene, and I think they're funny, and they're also, I recognize, probably creatively a little tricky because you're writing about something and you have to kind of convey a whole story in 1 panel or 2 panels, but the author does it really well, and I feel like that's kind of his strength, and you're left with like the end result, and the reader is left to wonder everything that led up to the end result, which can be very entertaining and a little funny. So oh, hello cow, you've decided to join. So yeah, I think that those 1 panels were really interesting and funny, and there are obviously some are better than others. When you're just making a lot of 1 panel things, you're gonna have some that are better than others, but I thought they were well done, and I feel like Keiichi Araue can really star in those 1 or 2 or like up to 4 just like panel stories, because he's really good at like condensing his humor into that short little bit. So yeah, this story kind of mostly concludes with them writing their letters to each other and their future selves and putting them in a box, and they're going to bury it, and they're going to open it up in the future and see where it leads them. And you're kind of left wondering where their futures are going to go, but I feel like Keiichi Araue's world has an overall positive tone. Things get crazy, things get wild, but rarely are things dark, or rarely do things not actually work out that are like serious or that matter. So I feel like Our characters are going to be just fine. They have each other, they have their love for life and their zest for life, and they're going to turn out just fine, as I hope everyone does. So yeah, I have enjoyed this series. I have loved this series. I am very impressed with the author's work. I want to continue reading his work, and I'm so glad that I gave this series a try, because I was not sure I wanted to read a manga that involved people sitting in school but there was a deer on someone's desk. I felt like that was very weird. So I'm glad I gave it a try, because I'm very impressed. I'm going to be reading City. Don't knock my keys over. I'm going to be reading City by Kiichi Arawe next, and then I also want to get my hands on the Helvetica Standard, or was it like Helvetica Standard, is it bold and italic? The two works that kind of dive into his philosophy or view on art, but also kind of a comic. So I'm excited to read more stuff by him. I'm very impressed with his work, and I'm excited to see what else he's put out, because I'm sure that he has a lot of talent and that he can do great things. If you've read the series or have any thoughts on the Nichijou series as a whole, please let me know. I'd love to hear it, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the series that he writes holds. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.